TSMC, the Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company. They have a big project inside of TSMC building a database system to help them maintain their machineries. So as a computer science student, I have no idea how to maintain those machines. So they have to teach us a lot of things about how to write a database program to help them maintain those machines. And it was a lot to learn. It was a lot to learn there. So they have teach a lot of things for me to understand how to build this application. And we would get it wrong like a lot of times. So then it came to us like, they have all these know-hows on how to build applications. And all I know is coding. I know how to build a database application. Why isn't there a better way for them to just describe how the maintenance will work and without coding so that they can just develop the application themselves without teaching all those in-depth know-hows of how to maintaining all those machines for semiconductor design. So that's kind of the beginning of why I thought it would be a good idea to create this kind of no-code tool to help people with like expertise, domain know-how, and to transfer all those knowledge into a real working database system, and that they can maintain themselves without any coding. So I think it will be a much easier way, much smarter way to do this. Yeah, so that's kind of where the idea came from, and that also kind of came from my study of AI. I was studying AI in the beginning in my master's thesis study. Well, as a software developer, I like creating things, and when I create things, I just want every more and more people to use it. I want to share with everyone. I just think this is a great idea. I just want a lot of people to be using it, and just nothing brings me more joy seeing this kind of tool solves a lot of problems for other companies. It's just a very very fulfilling journey for me to see it solving problems. Oh, that's actually a pretty long journey because and Ragic is bootstrapped, so we never took any funding. So in the beginning few years, so we have no money, so we still need to make a living. So in the beginning few years, we did consulting projects. So we were the service partner of an application called team site, interwoven team site. They were like an enterprise content management software. So they were merged into other companies later. So we did service project for them for a few years to make money, and we then slowly transitioned into using React to do projects for customers, and then slowly transitioned into making Ragic a pure SaaS tool for our customers to build the applications themselves. So, so we, yeah, in the beginning, yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Without funding and with the need to be cash flow positive at every moment of the company, doing consulting projects is usually the way to the most doable way to do this. Oh, we were in that pothole for years. So yeah, we were. It's not like a pothole. We were just always there in that hole for many years because it took quite a few years before Ragic becomes this um, pure soft SaaS applications without us doing consulting projects. So all those consulting project years feels like being in that hole, and we just see the product improve and believe that someday it's gonna grow into that pure SaaS application that users can actually learn how to use and build the applications for them. And luckily, in the end, it really happened for us. Yeah, I think it's kind of lucky for us to be in the no code field because, like what I mentioned in the presentation, no code is like the perfect guardrail for non-developers using AI because it just provides them with the sound technical foundation for them to vibe code. Yeah, I just feel that it's a really lucky position to be in and a lot of things that we can take advantage of. In the beginning, we most Ragic is mostly used by small media enterprises, especially small teams. But in recent years, like we gradually shifted toward medium to large enterprises. We began to have more than half of our revenue coming from medium to larger enterprises because they have such more complex business processes and there's just a lot more values they're getting from a no-code tool like this. So we're being deployed to big like government agencies with like tens of thousands of employees. They learn how to use Ragic to develop these database applications, and once they learn them, they begin to create like hundreds and thousands of different electronic forms and business flows on Ragic because all of those needs were previously unfulfilled by the limits of their like IT departments. For those big companies, the IT departments can never fulfill the need for all these different branches, all these different departments. The requirements just simply overwhelming for these large enterprises. Yes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So once one department starts to use it, the next department says, "Oh, what's that? How did you solve that?" And they start to use one of the forms of "Oh, this is like a really good solution that they can customize, not needing to use packaged software, whether it's just the fixed set of features." And for many, many years, we've been doing purely inbound marketing. So we we don't even do any outbound marketing. We just do like content marketing and paid advertising. But um, in our particular software field category, the the outbound outbound sales method has not been working really well. Not that we've never tried. We've tried it. We just found that it's kind of difficult to use outbound sales to sell a more generic product like for example, if you want to sell Microsoft Office, sell Excel with an outbound sales team, it's gonna be relatively more difficult. Yeah, we actually partner with a lot of system integrators and IT consulting companies. They work with usually medium to large enterprises. They already do a lot of projects with them. They have good relationships with them, and they just need a really good tool to solve a lot of unsolved problems by these software packages that they represent. They need a more flexible tools, fix it all tools for these loose ends that they're unable to solve that with a big ERP or a big CRM. They need something that can glue all these large solutions together and a lot of line of business applications in between them. There are just tons of requirements that are just not within these core applications like ERPs. So the core applications only solve like a very small portion of the problems. So most of the business process for these big companies, they're not really digitalized. A lot of them are just still left there on the spreadsheets and left there on Google Sheets, maybe just a tiny bit better. But they're just definitely not digitalized. Well, I guess it's be patient. So since we started, we've always thought, yeah, next year is gonna be the year we make it. Next year is gonna be the where everything gets better and we get like a hockey stick growth. And we've always had some nice growth, but I think if a product, whether a product gets like hockey stick growth, it depends on the nature of the product. So, and a lot of enterprise applications doesn't run into these kind of dream scenarios. But yeah, over the years we became satisfied and happy with this healthy organic growth and helping more and more organizations. Um, I would say luck has play a pretty big role. I honestly, in most startups, luck plays a pretty big role. And the second thing would be patience, because I feel one of my biggest advantage is that I sort of have a little bit more patience than other people, and I would like to believe. And I don't think I'm like way smarter than other people. So in the startup field, most companies they're smart. They're smart enough, but a lot of times they're not patient enough to see their plan being executed and wait for it to grow into a mature product. And we're lucky enough that during this growth process, it doesn't nothing happened that killed it. Definitely. All right. Thank you, Michael.